Okay, I'm Suzanne Titkemeyer. Used to be no longer quivering, now just for myself. Um, I'm trying this again. I'm going to try this again. I'm hoping everybody can transfer over, and hopefully we'll have enough bandwidth for me to do this. I'm just going to sit here and sing this song that gets on everybody's nerves until everybody shows up again. It's just one of those days. Costa Rica, right now I'm looking outside. It is thundering. It's thundering. I'm seeing the trees whipping around. It's one of those very, very cloudy days. We've had a lot of disturbing things happen in Costa Rica in the last week. We've had our numbers jump again for COVID. We're under crazy COVID restrictions again, and they just ordered all the schools shut down for the entire school year. So it's getting real here. We're having worse and worse. So that plays into everything else that's going on. Like I said, yesterday and today, I'm trying to answer questions by a nice lady that wanted me to address the whole fighting thing and who to believe over Charlotte or whatever. I hold nothing against Charlotte. I've looked at some of her streams again. Um, but I'm going to say there are some people around her that are problematic. When I went into PJ's stream to watch that time and she was trying to fight with Aaron, and I saw some people who are problematic. I saw a lot of comments, and I was really surprised to see who some of her moderators are. That's no slam on her. I just was surprised. There's so many in the Catherine opposing committee. There are a lot of people that apparently play both sides of the fence, and if they want to do that, that's fine. But as I was saying, I think we've reached a point where we just don't fight. I mean, I don't see the point in fighting about any of this. People are going to have different opinions. Today, I walked up to somebody at church that I don't get along with him at all on any of his opinions. And I told him, I said, brother, I really appreciate you because you have a totally different view from me, but you give me enough freedom to believe however I want to believe. And I see the chat's probably not working. Let me apologize again about this. This is Costa Rica. Um, it's not a third world country, but it's a second world country, and things don't always work like they're supposed to here, including this. So, what I wanted to say is there are people in the community that just want to drag anybody they don't agree with into a fight with them and take them down. And I don't approve of that, and I don't engage in that. And I'm asking anybody who is part of the community, if you have a problem with a creator, don't watch them or approach them and say, hey, I have a problem with you. Can you talk to me about this? They might be open to that. They might be able to hear. I've taken correction before myself. I've had to apologize for things. I apologized to Charlotte that time. I would rather apologize and move on than have to keep dealing with the fallout for making a bad decision and standing, because that's what Catherine does. Catherine attacks others that are different than her, and she never backs down. And that's not healthy behavior for anybody. It's definitely not healthy for our community. I had to laugh. Last night I had some trolls come in, at least I believe they were trolls. Some lady named Lori that wanted me to come on her channel. I didn't even know her. I've never even heard of her. Calling me a little pissant creator. I don't care. Everybody starts somewhere. And I didn't start this to make money. I didn't start this to give trillion views. I started this because I felt like I had some stuff to say. And I'm going to keep saying it. And especially now that we're having quiverful theology in what is going on around us with Josh Duggar and that whole situation, and other things like like the new IFB possibly having murdered a guy who reported on them. There's so many things that need to be discussed. I started this actually primarily to do book reviews, and I have yet to do one book review. Eventually, I'm hoping that this is the bitter end of talking about Catherine, talking about messy creators. I'm just going to give you some basic advice for creation and creators. If you're messy, please don't report on somebody else that's messy because you just look silly. If you can't put on your own makeup, don't be sort of thing. Use a little common sense. And as far as like those people yesterday that were trying to drag me into a street fight, that's not happening. Here, I have the exact same rules that I had at NLQ as far as commentary goes. If you're attacking someone personally, not just me, but other people, if you go into the attack mode and you start arguing with the whole logical arguments, I can't even think what it's called, ad hominem. If you resort to ad hominem, guess what? I take that stuff down. If you put porn links up, I take that stuff down. I block you. And I do block people for saying ugly stuff to other people or to me. Now, everybody says, Catherine blocks everybody. Well, that's true. And I'm not saying you can't criticize me because there's a way that you criticize people and say, hey, I think this is messy behavior because XYZ. And then there's, oh my God, I think you're the worst thing ever. Go to hell. That's a whole different ball game. And when the second one happens, that's abusive. And I don't think that anybody should be having to put up with that. Not me, not Charlotte, not even Catherine at her messiest, you putting up with that. So basically, that's about all I can say about it. There's a lot of the I'm going to call it opposing Catherine group that I just don't watch their videos anymore because it's all just rant about the latest thing that Catherine has done that I can see. I'm actually kind of bored with talking about Catherine. I know I've talked about that a bunch. Not true. I mean, some of what she's saying may be true. I've done a lot of speculation. I know that. But I don't think there's anything wrong in speculation as long as you label it speculation and say, hey, this is my own personal opinion on this matter. And this is not necessarily fact. Like me saying, I said on Facebook yesterday, somebody was complaining about how long it took for Josh to get arrested for this thing. And I just said, well, COVID number one, I think delayed the arrest. And number two, that's one thing about the federal government that's a little bit different than the states. They will make sure that their ducks are in a row and all that before they proceed. So if you get mad about watching somebody, me or anybody else, don't watch them anymore. Just say, hey, I'm not interested in this. Because you're really being silly when you're running around trying to tell everybody else. It's like, you should act like this. Man, I wish life was that easy. I was telling a friend of mine today who I frequently don't agree with and said, thank you for putting up with my contrarian self because I can be contrarian, can be one of those yes but peoples. But at the same time, there's got to be room for all opinions. You don't have to like somebody else's opinion. You don't even have to host somebody's opinion. But everybody has the right to say, what they want, their own thing, as long as they're not breaking any laws or slandering somebody. And slander and libel. I guess it would be slander on here. Libel is written, slander is spoken. But most of us, it's just our own opinions. They're our opinions. They're not hard, cold facts. And that's fine. Everybody can have an opinion about it, anything they want. But for me, I'm just going to keep chugging along and doing what I'm doing. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, I guess you would say. So there's that. And I'm going to go back to talk about Costa Rica. And I want to talk just a teeny bit today. I said that the rates are up. When I flew out to New Orleans, we had rates in Costa Rica of 300 cases a day. It had finally fallen. It keeps doing this number here. It fallen because they'd gotten people to mask, to wash their hands, to socially distance. to do all the things that they do to help this thing out. And when I flew back a couple days later, within a week, it doubled. I believe that's because Costa Rica made all of us gringos go back to the US to reset our visas again. And a lot of people brought back COVID from the United States. I'm pretty sure of that. And I saw people are acting in the States, the number of people that don't mask, don't socially distance, the whole 9 yards. It was eye opening. So there's that. And then Semana Santa came, and the rates doubled again after Semana Santa. Semana Santa is Easter week here, and it is a big, huge holiday. Most people from San Jose area, from the Central Valley, will come to Tamarindo and the Gold Coast for vacation. And there are two weeks that I either will stay here and go nowhere, or I'll fly out and go somewhere else, like the States. And that's Easter week and Christmas week. There have actually been cases here, Christmas week, where people have died because they couldn't get out because the one road leading into Tamarindo was blocked by traffic. This sort of thing has happened because, unfortunately, the airport they have to get them to fly them to San Jose for life-saving treatments is by my house, which is I'm probably 7 minutes to Tamarindo, I think, 7 or 8. And that's just too much for life-saving things. And the back road is sometimes washed out. I wouldn't want to take an ambulance through the back road because you have to ford a river and there's mud galore. And I'm fine with that. I got stuck last year. I had pictures of myself. I had mud from here to there. I broke my shoes off. I had my flip-flops broke in it. All kinds of crazy things happen. So there's that. So we're having a doubling every so many weeks, and it's gotten scary here. The government has pretty much shut down the entire Central Valley, which is that's all shut down. They're on extreme COVID protocols and extreme shutdown, but I don't think